Well, hello people, and welcome to an asset showcase for everything new in the emerging downtowns and countryside content creator packs by Smilies and Cbudd, respectively. If you're just looking for a quick review here in this surprising new release of Cities Skylines 1 content, both of these content creator packs are amazing, with emerging downtowns being the more must-buy of the two. Either way, let's get stuck straight into an asset showcase, shall we? So this is emerging downtowns first of all. We have a whole bunch of different things here you can see within the district where we are showing off emerging downtowns. This is by Smilies, one of the most popular curators on the workshop, which brings with it 140 low density residential and 81 low density commercial growables, very much of which fall in the which of row homes and kind of mixed use apartments, condos, duplexes, lots of that sort of stuff. An amazing pack. This fills a huge void in the CS official asset pool. So first up, we have some of the shallow 1x1 homes here. Putting these back to back would yield some very nice results. I don't think you can randomly zone this stuff. You definitely want to use it in kind of patterns. But lots of little modern condos. There's little row homes sandwiched together here. And it is a stunning pack. It's really nice. Even some kind of like UK style terrace housing here too. Smaller, more apartments. And it's just... There's a huge amount of variety here. You can use these in just pretty much any theme you want to, really. Kind of get the general vibe for them here as they scale up. A lot of them feel very sort of Western Hemisphere, I suppose would be a good way to describe them. This right here feels very UK, for example. You know, an apartment block next door you could see in a variety of different places. So I really like the brick textures as well. This is just an excellent job of them, absolutely wonderful. so nice. Starting to get a bit more modern here now, of course, as they move through their levels and getting a bit deeper with some of the larger assets. So, you know, you could use these in kind of repeated rows to create some older style dorms, housing estates. These would work fantastic in. And then you can move more into kind of like gated community sort of duplexes, apartments, kind of brand new builds. A little bit more kind of social housing vibes over here as well, you know. So a real mix and variety with the residential assets that come with this pack. Got some rooftop gardens as well, in a much more sort of like classic condo style, right? Smilies has put a lot of stuff like this out on the workshop. I will leave both of the content creators, both Cbudd and Smilies Steam pages linked in the description, by the way. If you want to check out their work on Steam, of course, if you've got more of their assets. Aren't they fabulous? Look at this. Big, like, modern condos that look super realistic. This is like so needed in the I guess kind of official asset experience, if you want to sort of group it as that. This one's gorgeous, isn't it? This will work very nicely with a lot of the Art Deco homes, actually. So we get a real sense of the variety here. Some of the corner assets dying to be fused into a 4x4, aren't they? Yes, please, everyone. Love a bit of that. And then we have some row homes over here again, going back into more of an old brick style. And then they get progressively more modern, and there's a ton of them, right? 140 new residential assets is a phenomenal addition to the pool. This really varies it up. I'm sure Editing Egg will leave a scroll of the find it search bar for residential assets now. There is absolutely hundreds of them. When you have all the DLCs, it's pretty incredible. Shout out as well to Instant Gaming, by the way, below. If you are missing any of the DLCs, dirt cheap on there now, and you help support the channel at the same time. Look at these nice big modern buildings here with the balconies, right? Stunning. Really, really stunning. This one almost looks like kind of 3 separate assets, doesn't it, you know? And you're almost kind of getting like a bit of a mixed use here. A lot of the residential behind it, which we'll check out in a second, has a lot of very sort of mixed use vibes in it, which is huge for CS1. It doesn't really have any mixed use assets in its current pool. So this is very welcome. Nice corner unit there as well. Different styles of brick. Look at that. That's one building. What the hell? That's one building.
That's one building. That's one building.
So the asset variety is insane. You can imagine putting these in big rows, right? So not only are they beautiful assets, but possibilities you can do with them, especially with some light modding, a bit of plot the growables and move it. You get so many possibilities here. Look at that as well, right? Definitely one you want to get in a big repeated row. Yeah, check out some of the packs as well. Usual collection of vanilla props and car parking around the buildings, etc. Nothing that you've not usually seen before. Nice use of some fencing here too. You markate the back gardens there. So, you know, imagine putting that one back to back. Beautiful frontage as well. So stunning. And that is your residential assets. 140 of them. That's not all of them either. Obviously, I've left out every single variation. We don't really have time to show off 140 individual apartments, but a general impression across the scope there, right? Absolutely wonderful. The road behind holds the 81 low-density commercial assets, which also come with emerging downtowns. And again, a huge variety is the theme, the consistent theme through the pack. Blender as well. Shout out Blender for our 3D animation people. Now look at that. Isn't that great? This is like, bear in mind, we're looking at commercial here. And it's lots of mixed use, isn't it? You get some, obviously, more classic commercial like this. Like, this is a super nice building. Actually very similar to what's just come out with the Northeast pack stuff for Cities 2. But incredible. Absolutely gorgeous. So many more realistic options. This certainly passes as mixed use, doesn't it? This passes as mixed use. So incredible. Great buildings for kind of like older style streets as well, you know, if you do want super modern stuff. You've got buildings through the decades here. Again, that's one building. Absolutely amazing. So simply superb again, this one, right? Look at that. So that is a single asset in CS1 that the game is classing as low density commercial. So just awesome that you can get these things zoned in. We even got details around the back as well. A bit of airport apron around the back here, right? Really blend that in with a, you know, an estate behind it, whatever you want to use these things for. So again, look at that. That's commercial. really diversifies the pool of assets available and the things you can do in Cities 1 these days. Always happy to see new Cities 1 releases. Kind of like my Sims 4, you know? So no matter how many packs they release for Cities 1, I will always play them. As long as they don't start doing kind of like ghosts and vampires and stuff like the Sims did. I'm not into the supernatural releases, unfortunately. But this is very welcome. It's always good to see the asset creators get support as well, you know? So cool for Smilies to get his official sort of creator release pack. Absolutely deserved. An icon of the Steam Workshop. That as well. Just simply fantastic. That's one building. What the hell? Really nice corner on it there as well, isn't it? Such a cool asset, that one. So you're getting the detail you can add to your street level now with one asset alone is incredible. Especially for those that don't like going heavy with props or fusing, or kind of using move it and plot the grow balls to create more custom spaces with your buildings. This is a pack that really complements that sort of, you know, I can't be arsed so bothered with fusing stuff. It's just the diversity it's going to add to your street fronts is really cool. Mixed use is so welcome for CS, isn't it? Of course, it's not really functioning as mixed use, no one lives here. But you know, when you're looking at building your city, you don't really notice that anyway, do you? It's just Sims coming and going. So you can sort of pretend what the building is doing, if you like. So I'm happy to see that. Much needed void to be filled in the CS1 asset pool. I think was a bit of mixed use. You know, the condos, like, that's commercial. Like, what the hell? Amazing. I will prove it, by the way, I haven't misplaced these. This is Fancy Boutique, level 3 low density commercial building. This one right here. Special times. And then all these as well. Pretty fantastic. So Emerging Downtowns is incredible in terms of where I would place this on the Master DLC tier list that we did a couple of years ago. I'm not going to remake that entire video with these newer packs, but I would probably add them toward the A tier side of things, possibly even S tier, like very top must buy tier, but certainly a very strong A tier for the Emerging Downtowns. A really, really good pack. Highly suggest it. Well done to Smilies. Wonderful stuff. Next up, we have Countryside pack from Cbudd, which is very, again, diverse. I think really sums up these two packs here. So Countryside brings 3 unique buildings, 6 service buildings, 45 low-density residential growables, and 33 props. It is also a very good pack, but if you're stuck choosing between the two, I would suggest Emerging Downtowns first. So this gives us lots of different low-density zonables, which add, again, a huge variety of options. And some are also pretty stylized as well, you know, especially with the windmill here too, and the crop field. It's kind of leaning into obviously building out a farm with it, isn't it? Accompanying it with some sort of field aesthetic. You even got small little sheds here as well, you know, like these in repeated patterns fusing. Almost some like very heavy Scandinavian vibes here as well, right? This reminds me very much of Sweden, Finland, for example. Don't know why, must have seen pictures from there or something. This one much more kind of like classic Midwest American bar, isn't it? Sort of Kentucky, Nebraska kind of vibes, this one. Very nice. So a real mix in style. And again, all beautifully modelled. Massive shout out to Cbudd. His Steam page is also linked below as well, if you want to check out more of his work. As the assets get larger, you get much more intricate designs on them too. Like this is like modern sort of barn conversion, isn't it? With them a little bit of the field left in there too. And then some really unique ones too. This one again kind of reminds me of Scandinavia too, especially Finland. Maybe seen a lot of this stuff in rural Finland. And then definitely some more kind of Asian themes here as well, right? Some of them get quite Japanesey as well a little bit further down. So a good old mix of styles. And of course these props, the tanks and the bales and the walls and the crates and the jars, if you can call them that, barrels I suppose. All arrive as props, which we'll check out in a second too. Love that little cracked decal there, that's very tasty. Little piles of wood next door as well. This remote comes off much more kind of Asian inspired, doesn't it? Especially with that panel in there. And this one certainly. Really nice, great garden detailing on these assets too. You can see where you can zone these up, sort of, you know, in a town if you want to use this sort of residential specialization. I think you just have to be wary of too many farm props appearing if you're not using them in a farm setting, because I think that really kind of, you know, identifies the house, doesn't it, as this is involved in some kind of agriculture. So if there's no agriculture there, it's a little bit jarring, I think. But look at this one too. This one's very Asian inspired, isn't it? Look at that. Gorgeous there. So some super unique shapes as well, right? Almost like kind of like brutalist, sort of contemporary, isn't it? If you could pick a style out of it. This one's super nice. Look at that. I love the stone texture there. Fantastic. Very modern one here again. Looks like some sort of conversion, doesn't it? Super nice. So it's almost like a barn conversion, kind of mixed still with a working farm, isn't it? Because you got all this glass here. Kind of still has a barn or warehouse sort of vibe to it, doesn't it? Like it is converted. So yeah, it's a super unique pack, I think. One of the more unique ones we've had. Love the porch on this little wooden one there too. Police cars going past, making noise of course, while I'm trying to talk. Yeah. So super nice, look at this. Also looks like it's kind of still under construction there, doesn't it, that one? And this one again, super more sort of Chinese, sort of Japanese vibes here, isn't it really? With the shapes of these roofs and the kind of the curvature to them. More gated sort of ones here as well. This one, very Japanese with the fence and the gate there, isn't it? Very much so. And then that brings us to the end of the residential. So again, you're getting quite a lot with that one. There's 45 new homes, which are very welcome. Let's check out the service buildings. So first of all, we have the town hall, which is a unique building. You should find them in your unique buildings menu under content creator packs, and then in countryside, where you get the countryside town hall, which looks very nice indeed. Again, I love a town hall asset, very similar to the tax office, almost like a more rural version of it. Clock tower on there as well, which looks superb. Yes, please, everyone. That's very nice indeed. Yeah, really nice asset. I'll get plenty of use out of this. I love a town centre build, and that's perfect, isn't it? So expect to see that across every rural build we do in CS1 from now on. And then over here, we have the market, I think, isn't it? It is the countryside public market. Then the countryside general store is the one next door, isn't it? But yes, really nice, right? Look at this. Look at this. Nice little plantation around the back as well. Maybe like the market's growing its own food. Little water tower in there. You can imagine this on the way into a town, can't you? Just off the highway. Very nice. Next door to this, we have the rural market and general store, which is a really nice building. Again, great little town centre. Also here, love the sign on the front. Very cute. More props out there. Entrance 2 and around the back. And then we have the service buildings over here. So we've got the country medical centre. Very nice, very small. At the countryside fire department. The Countryside Police Station, which all look absolutely wonderful, especially the fire department. This is probably my new favourite fire station in the game now. This is gorgeous. Then we have the Countryside Elementary next door, which is very Japanese looking, I have to say. But very nice regardless, it's not a criticism. The Countryside High School, which is actually very UK looking. This looks like very old, kind of like Victorian UK mansions and, you know, very nice sort of country infrastructure. The Countryside High School is lovely. And then the Countryside Public Library is also, again, very sort of Asian themed and inspired it looks, doesn't it? So those are your 6 service buildings that also come with the pack. And then you also have 33 props which are available via your park menu under content creators. And then you can filter for Countryside. And it's pretty much all the little props you've seen on the buildings, the water towers, the windmills, which do not spin, if you're wondering, they are static. Some little sheds here which will work marvellously away well from Countryside builds as well. These will go very nicely in industrial builds, these. Also with these shelters, these all appear across public transit stops and plazas, and these small little cute retaining walls will make great for boxing in kind of rows of roadies, won't they? Kind of making flower beds in town centres, these. Some new fence props arrive that are best used with the fence line tool as opposed to manually plopping. I really wish they'd add that into CS1, that would be so welcome, a line tool, goodness me. Tanks, a leaning wheel, which is a very cool little prop. A stack of hay and a bale of hay alongside a beehive with some pots and barrels. A log wooden bench, which is very cute, some crates, a bed, some logs, a new sign, which is just pallid. There's no information on it. Maybe it's supposed to be something, I'm not sure. I'm sure it probably is. And then a bunch of decals, which are all the little field ones you've seen throughout the pack and the houses today as well, which you can sort of repurpose into these behind house mini farms like I have done here. But, you know, new decals are always welcome for those that do enjoy them. And they are really detailed as well. Like, you can really, you know, you mass repeat this in vanilla. There's certainly something to be had with that. But I think that they're pretty not super impactful when they're on their own like this. But either way, it rounds off an absolutely tremendous pack. I really like what Smilies and Cbudd have released here. And don't forget to check out Instant Gaming if you missed out any of the DLCs that we might have talked about. In terms of where I would place this on our master tier list ranking, I'd probably go for a higher B tier. There are other housing packs that are better than this one, European Suburbia and Brooklyn and Queens as 2 examples. But if you've got all of them DLC and you want some fresh asset selection, this one's definitely one of the first ones to go for once you fall into kind of away from the absolute must-buys. And then also with this pack we receive 3 new Grand Plazas which can be found in your parks menu, and they are under other parks, these 3. First of all we have the 10th anniversary pack, of course, celebrating the 10th anniversary, which is covered in the flags of all the DLCs. Which is really cute. That's actually a very nice little kind of homage. There's also a wonderful little boat prop here as well, which I hope that turns up as a prop. I didn't find it. That's very tasty. Although with this, I think they should have also included the donut van. There's the kind of eatery props here, but I think the donut van would have been quite nice there. We have the industry park next door, of course, which, as you can guess, is industry where we have a big saw blade, a oil derrick, some cows, and a thimble. How is that supposed to be? Buy and sell? What is this supposed to represent? The stock exchange? Or is the industry that's missing? I'm not sure what that is regardless. It's going to be very obvious, isn't it? And it's going to be all over the comments. There's also some fish in the middle with a couple of little statue of industrymen as well, which I thought was very cute. It's the same sort of style that on top with the statue of industry. So you could pair this really nicely actually with that other unit building to create a fun little space. But of course the industrial park also has pathways on the edge. These are not friendly to snap nodes. You'll need Anarchy if you want to snap in. You can see there is no snap there. It is actually a Anarchy collision, so you'd probably have to do something like that and then Anarchy straight through if that's what you want to do. But nice park beyond that. And then lastly we also have the transport park, which is covered in the blimp for some reason. The blimp. The taxi, the tram, the hot air balloon, and the plane, with some more park props around it as well. So 3 nice little homages to, I guess, the history, life and times of Cities 1 with this patch as well. So we also talked very briefly last week about the CS1 DLC subscription, but I just wanted to also mention that here as well, since this is more of the CS1 stuff. If you don't know, just a very brief rundown, they have added a subscription service where you get access to all Cities Skylines 1 DLC for the ongoing monthly fee. Once you cancel the subscription, you lose access to those DLCs. So if you're going to be placing networks from those packs in cities, those cities do become locked until you either resubscribe or you go out and buy that specific DLC, because of course, CS1 builds will not load if a network is missing or restricted. So super important thing to note if you're going to go down the DLC route there. I doubt there's too many people that don't have a ton of Cities 1 DLC these days. I don't think there's that many people playing the strictest vanilla, no DLC base game anymore 10 years after the games come out. If you are one of those people, this subscription service is very useful for you. You can get a ton of DLC for a pretty decent price if you know you're not going to sink thousands of hours into the game, and you just want to get a bit of a sample of what all the DLCs can offer. It's good. Paradox also do this for Stellaris and Hearts of Iron, the grand strategy games that they publish, and it's been pretty well received, so I imagine it's going to be well received here too. But just wanted to kind of throw that out there, keep the discussion going about that down below, because I know it's kind of pretty big news for Cities 1 to get such a massive service and continuing to get new DLC. Also in this CS1 subscription service announcement, they mentioned that basically if we keep buying Cities 1 DLCs, they will keep making them. So I thought that was quite interesting and something I'm happy to hear, to be honest. Like I mentioned, CS1 is my Sims 4. I'll always buy any DLC that comes out for it. It's just one of my favourite games, and I think there's so many packs and different things you can come out of CS with for releases like that. And it is so cool again to see content creators still receive support from Colossal Order and Paradox with these opportunities. It's so cool to see them kind of get these ways to show off their work, you know. I love the content creator packs. I think they're a great idea for a kind of a DLC format, if you like. Either way, let me know what you think of these down below, and indeed the CS1 subscription service. Massive shout out to the patrons that support the channel with a roll call to our golden eggs: Andrew Perez, Bad Wolf, Casino, Louis Adlam, Phoenix MD, and Wesley Kip. If you want to get involved in that, links down below to Patreon and Instant Gaming. Best ways to support the channel. Otherwise, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.